There was a time in Japan when honor was more valuable than life, discipline was sharper than any sword, and one group of warriors shaped an entire nation. This is the real story of the samurai, and it is far deeper than what you think you know. Welcome to Cammy the Storyteller. This is the story of the samurai culture in Japan, the warriors who shaped a nation. Long ago in ancient Japan, before the bright lights and busy cities, Japan was a land of mountains, forests, and clans that ruled their own territories. There was no single strong government. Instead, powerful families fought for control. In this chaotic world, a special kind of warrior was born. A warrior defined not only by strength, but by duty, discipline, and honor. These warriors were called samurai. And this is their story. The birth of a warrior class. The story of the samurai begins around the 700s. Japan at that time was controlled by nobles who lived in the emperor's capital city. They owned large lands but had no way to protect them from thieves, rebellions, and clan fights in the countryside. So, these nobles did what any powerful group would do. They hired strong fighters to protect their land. At first, these fighters were simple guards. But over time, they became more skilled, more respected, and more feared. Their duty grew bigger than just guarding land. They became protectors of order. They became enforcers of loyalty. They became the samurai, a word that means those who serve. A culture of discipline and obedience. Being a samurai was not just a job. It was a way of life. From childhood, a boy who was chosen to become a samurai was trained in archery, sword fighting, horse riding, strategy, poetry and writing, meditation and self-control. A samurai was expected to master both the sword and the mind. He must know how to fight, but also how to think, how to plan, and how to stay calm even in danger. To guide their behavior, they followed a strict moral code called Bushido, meaning the way of the warrior. Bushido was simple but powerful. Be loyal. Be honest. Be brave. Respect your enemies. Never act in shame. Protect your master at all cost. A samurai who broke these rules lost more than his rank. He lost his honor, and to a samurai, honor was worth more than life. The rise of the great samurai clans. As the samurai grew stronger, so did their leaders. Many powerful families raised armies of samurai. Soon, these families started fighting each other for control of Japan. This era was known for endless battles. Clans rose and fell. Brothers fought brothers. Alliances changed like the wind. During this time, the samurai became the most important force in Japan. Their loyalty and strength could decide who became the next ruler. Two great clans, the Minamoto and the Taira, fought one of the most famous wars in Japanese history. The Minamoto clan won. Their leader, Minamoto no Yoritomo, became the first shogun in 1192. A shogun was not a king, but he had the real power. The emperor remained a symbol, but the shogun ruled the nation. With this, Japan officially became a samurai-led country. The Zen Influence. As samurai continued to train their bodies for war, they also trained their minds for peace. Many samurai embraced Zen Buddhism, a teaching that focused on calmness, simplicity, and discipline. Zen monks taught them how to breathe, how to control fear, how to stay focused, how to accept death without shaking. The samurai found strength in this. Before battle, some samurai would sit quietly, meditating under a tree. It was believed that a calm mind created a deadly warrior. This mix of fierce fighting and inner peace became a key part of samurai identity. Weapons that defined a legend. When you hear samurai, the first thing you probably imagine is the katana, the curved sword that shines like moonlight. But the samurai used many weapons. Bows and arrows, spears, defensive armor, horseback combat. Still, the katana remained their soul. It was more than a weapon. It was a symbol. A samurai treated his sword like a part of his body. Losing it was like losing his honor. The Age of Unification. For hundreds of years, Japan was torn apart by clan wars. But in the late 1500s, three great leaders rose to bring the land under one rule. Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Tokugawa Ieyasu. Through brilliant strategy and brutal battles, they ended the long civil wars. Tokugawa Ieyasu eventually became shogun and started the Tokugawa shogunate, which ruled for more than 250 years, the longest period of peace in Japanese history. Under this peace, the samurai changed. They were no longer needed every day for war. So they became government officials, scholars, advisors, teachers. The samurai still kept their code. They still wore their swords. But their battlefield became the office, not the war front. The fall of the samurai era. Everything changed in the mid-1800s when Western powers arrived in Japan. The outside world had modern guns, cannons, and warships. Japan could not ignore this. The country needed to modernize fast. In 1868, a major revolution called the Meiji Restoration took place. The new leaders wanted to end the old samurai system and create a modern army. This meant no more samurai-only privileges, no more wearing swords in public, no more samurai government jobs. Everyone must join the same army, not just samurai. Many samurai felt betrayed. Their way of life was fading. Some rebelled, but they were defeated by the very modern weapons they refused to adopt. By the late 1800s, the samurai class officially ended. But their spirit did not. The legacy that lives on. Even today, the samurai culture remains one of the strongest symbols of Japan. You see it in Japanese arts, martial arts, movies, literature, discipline in Japanese culture, dedication to duty, respect for honor. The samurai may have disappeared as a class, but their values still shape Japan. Their story is a reminder that strength without discipline is nothing. And discipline, when guided by honor, can shape nations.